Everyone, thank you for uh, clicking on, tuning in to this little reflection. The peace of Christ be with you. I don't know how you're feeling right now, how life is for you right now, but I pray that you may know that love and all-conquering peace and compassion that comes from Christ is right alongside you, finding its way to you. God does not know how to be absent from your life. He doesn't know how to do it. This weekend, the church celebrates the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul, a double feast. Peter and Paul, two great leaders of the Christian church. And in this country and many other parts of the world, this weekend, in what we call Petertide, the time of the Feast of St. Peter, people are often ordained deacons and priests. I was ordained a deacon and a priest in Petertide many years ago. It's not going to happen this weekend, and I really pray for the women and men who are preparing to be ordained deacon and priest. That's just being delayed because of the lockdown, the pandemic, but it'll, in just a few weeks' time, the delay will not be forever, but in just a few weeks' time, some dear friends I know will be giving their hearts and lives away to serve Christ and his church as deacons and as priests of the altar. Fools! What are they thinking? I can imagine their respectable and normal neighbours and friends and family thinking that or saying that, just as they think and say to you and everything that you do with and for God. What a foolish waste of time. Why aren't you doing normal things like watching telly or going to the shops on a Sunday morning? My response: who wants normal? Have you seen the normal world? Do you like the normal world of rich and poor and coming first and all of that jazz? Really? I'm not sure I feel comfortable in the presence of normal. The normal kids in my school were the ones who made fun of anyone who was different from the norm, anyone who dressed differently or liked different things. All the normal people were the ones who looked away when others said and did those things. I bet as adults they're still that way. Well, as St. Thomas Aquinas once said, screw normal. My heart goes out to the not normal, the unusual, to the ones who struggle, who are different, who worry that they don't fit in. My heart goes out to the person like that, and so does yours. So this weekend, St. Peter and St. Paul, the readings, reflections and the prayers for this weekend, Peter and Paul. I suppose as your chief pastor, I really should come clean and tell you just how not normal I am. Early on in my ministry, when I was still finding my feet, something went badly wrong and I spent some time in prison. Yeah. But God was with me, and my church stood by me, even as I felt the rejection and hatred of the normal world. God got me out of prison, and the church welcomed me back, and my ministry grew stronger as a result of that wretched, awful, humiliating experience. Well, that was St. Peter's story. He spent time in prison. Did you think it was my story? What if it had been? I used to do a lot of prison visiting back in the day, and I always felt humbled meeting the prisoners. In one of the women's prisons I visited, the all-time favourite song to sing in the chapel was, "Father, I place into your hands the things I cannot do." That was the song the young and the not so young women there wanted to sing. Father, I place into your hands the things I cannot do. Father, I place into your hands the things that I've been through. Father, I place into your hands the way that I should go. For I know I always can trust you. I trust that we are a church for people who are not normal, not always okay, who carry secret griefs, stories, burdens, shadows. Jesus said, "I have only come for the sick and the wounded. I'm a healer. I have only come for the sick in heart or body. If you're not that, goodbye." Our first leader, the first person to see that Jesus is the Christ, the world's true King, was Peter. He says it in the Gospel today. You are the Christ. You are the Messiah, the true King of the world. Peter. Jesus called him the Rock, Cephas. Jesus could have the cruelest sense of humour, because calling a guy called Simon Peter, which means the Rock, was a joke that everyone got. Peter wasn't Rocky. His name should have been Sandy. Peter could be so flaky, a bit of a coward. Throughout his time as a follower and leader in Jesus' church, Peter was always capable of making catastrophically stupid decisions, of saying and doing things that God and his Christian friends had to heal and undo. But you see, God chooses the fragile, the weak, the poor, the broken, the not normal to heal the world. That's how he does it. Peter's successor as Pope, as leader of the Christian Church, Pope Francis, when asked who he was, replied, "I am a sinner. That is who I am." One of the things that Francis did as Pope, one of the first things he did, was to visit a women's prison on Maundy Thursday and wash and kiss the feet of some of the prisoners there. Feet washing. Now Peter understands. Now Peter gets it. No one has to pretend to be normal in the Christian Church. In fact, we'd really prefer it if you weren't. This weekend we thank God for giving us the not normal saints, Peter and Paul. St. Paul, our teacher, our guide, our first theologian, he was riven by awkwardness and fears and inner knots, but he's someone who told us that love is greater than faith, that love keeps no record of wrongs, that love is not easily offended by our humanness, our weakness. St. Paul, who told us that love never fails. He's talking about God's love. It never fails. One day we'll see that. St. Paul wrote, "This is a saying worthy of all to be accepted. Jesus came to this world to save sinners, of whom I am the worst. But for this very reason I was chosen, so that future generations would see in me the inexhaustible patience of Jesus." Normal people don't go to prison. Peter and Paul did. Peter and Paul, first leaders of the Christian Church. You see, we are the church of the not normal, the weird, the less than ordinary, the more than ordinary. Alleluia. Thank God for that.